Today we're going to read Chapter 18, Leslie. Leslie had 5 fingers on each hand and 5 toes on each foot. For each hand, she had an arm. For each foot, she had a leg. She was a very lucky girl. And she had 2 lovely long brown pigtails that reached all the way down for a waist. When Mrs. Jules asked a question, Leslie could raise one of her hands. When Leslie was adding, she could count on her fingers. When Paul pulled one of her pigtails, she could kick him with one foot while standing on the other. But Leslie had one problem. She didn't know what to do with her toes. She had 10 adorable little toes, nothing to do with them. As far as she could tell, they served no useful purpose. "Suck your toes, that's what I do," said Sherry. But Leslie's foot wouldn't reach her mouth. "Well, that's all toes are good for," said Sherry. She put her foot into her mouth and went back to sleep. "No," thought Leslie. "They must be good for something. They just have to be." During recess, she asked Dana, "Dana, what do you do with your toes?" "I scratch back of my legs," said Dana. "First, I scratch left my legs with my right foot. Then I scratch my right leg with my left foot. But my legs don't itch," said Leslie. "That's good," said Dana. "In case you can scratch my legs, with your help, I can scratch both legs at the same time." "No, never mind," said Leslie. She walked behind Louis, the yard teacher, and hopped on his shoulders. "Louis," said Leslie, "I don't know what to do with my toes." Louis held her foot. "Yes, that is a serious problem," he said. "But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take them off your hands for you, or rather, your feet. Just cut them and give it to me." "What?" asked Leslie. "If you don't want them, so I'll take them," said Louis. "You don't have to worry about them ever again." "No," said Leslie. "I'll give it to Miss Mush," said Leslie. "She can make a little hot dogs out of them." Miss Mush was the lunch teacher. "No, I'm not giving my toes away," said Leslie. "All right," said Louis. "I'll give you a nickel apiece for them." "No, you can't have them," said Leslie. "Why not?" asked Louis. There's no good to you anyhow, and think of all you can buy for 50 cents. The bell rang. "I'll think it over," said Leslie. She ran back to her class. "Mrs. Jules," said Leslie, "I don't see any reason for keeping my toes." "Oh, Leslie, I'm sure there's lots of good reasons," said Mrs. Jules. "Well, I can't think of any. My legs don't itch, and I can't get my foot into my mouth." Louis said, "And I can't get my foot into my mouth. Louis offered me a nickel apiece for them, and it seems to me a good deal. I want them to check with you first." "I think Louis was pulling your leg," said Mrs. Jules. "No," said Leslie. "He was pulling my toes." "What would he want with your toes?" asked Mrs. Jules. "Oh, I don't know," said Leslie, "but he's willing to give me 5 cents apiece for them. Then I'm going to take him up on it. It's 50 cents. At lunch, Leslie walked up to Louis. "Okay, Louis," she said, "you can have my toes for a nickel apiece. That will be 50 cents. "Not so fast," said Louis. "Let me look at them first." Leslie took off her shoes. Yes, said Louis. "The big ones are good, and the other ones next to them, but the most I'll give you for the rest of your toes is 3 cents each." Leslie was furious. 3 cents each? You told me 5 at recess. "I'll give you 5 cents for big ones, but just look at them, scrawny little runt of a toe on the end there. You're lucky getting even 3 cents for it. I think you're getting a darn good deal." It happened I happen to like that toe, said Leslie. Fine then, said Louis. Keep it. I'll just take the 2 big ones. I'll call it Square. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a dime. Nothing doing, said Leslie. Those toes are sold as a set. It's either all 10 or 50 cents or no deal. I'm gonna do just 8 toes. What am I going to do with just 8 toes? Then forget it, said Louis. I'm not going to give you a nickel for this scrawny little end toes. Fine, said Louis. Fine, said Leslie. No deal. My toes will be still here for change your mind. She turned and walked toward a hopscotch area. Wait a second, Louis called. I'll give you $1 each for pigtails. Leslie turned around and looked at him with fiery eyes. Cut my hair, she exclaimed. Are you crazy? Chapter 19, Miss Sarves. There was no Miss Sarves. There's no 19th story. Sorry. Chapter 20, Kathy. Kathy doesn't like you. She doesn't know you, but she still doesn't like you. She thinks you're stupid. In fact, she thinks you're the stupidest person she doesn't know. What do you think of that? She also thinks you're ugly. As a matter of fact, she thinks you're the ugliest person she doesn't know. She doesn't know a lot of people. She doesn't like people she knows either. She hates everybody in Mrs. Jewell's class. She did like one member of the class. She did like Sammy. She thought he was funny. Sammy was a dead rat. But Kathy has a good reasons for not liking the children she knows. She doesn't like DJ because he smiles too much, and she doesn't like John because he stands on his head. He can't stand on his head. Kathy once had a cat named Skunks. She likes skunks, but she was afraid of skunks would run away. You have nothing to worry about, Kathy, said Mrs. Jules. Skunks don't run away. Just be nice to him and feed him and pet him, and he won't run away. He may go out and play, but he'll always come back. No, you're wrong, Mrs. Jules, said Kathy. What do you know? He'll run away. So Kathy kept Skunks locked up in her closet at home. She never let him out. Sometimes she even forgot to feed him. One day, while Kathy was looking for another shoe, Skunks ran out of the closet and never came back. You said he would come back, Mrs. Jules, said Kathy. He never came back. You were wrong. I was right. That was why Kathy didn't like Mrs. Jules. The next time I get the cat, I'll kill him. Then he'll never run away, said Kathy. Then there was the time that Damien tried to teach Kathy how to play catch. Damien said, when I throw you the ball, try to catch it. I can't catch it, said Kathy. I'll just get hurt. You won't get hurt, Damien insisted. Just catch the ball. He tossed it to her. Kathy knew she'd get hurt, so she closed her eyes and the ball hit her on the cheek. It hurt. Kathy began to cry. You were wrong, she sobbed. I was right. That was why Kathy didn't like Damien. Allison believed that if you are nice to someone, they'll be nice to you. So one day she brought Kathy a cookie. I don't want your ugly cookie, said Kathy. It probably tasted horrible. Allison said, no, it's very good. I made it myself, Kathy said. If you made it, it must stink. You can't cook. You're too stupid. She just put the cookie on her desk along with her pencils, crayons, and books. 3 weeks later, Kathy was hungry. All right, Allison, she said. I'll try your stupid cookie. She took it out of her desk and covered it with dust. She bit it, and it was hard and tasted terrible. See, said Kathy. I was right. That's why Kathy didn't like Allison. Yes, Kathy was very good reasons for not liking anybody she knew. But she also has a good reason for not liking you. She doesn't know even you. Her reason is this. She knows that if you met her, you wouldn't like her. You don't like Kathy, do you? See, she was right. It's funny how a person can be right all the time and still be wrong. That was end of this part of Wayside School, Sideways Stories from Wayside School. See you next time.